All right, let's talk about the tools of the trade for crypto analysis. Today, we're going to open up that toolkit and see what's inside. We're going to break down everything from the absolute basics, the simple price trackers, all the way up to the seriously high-tech stuff that the pros are using. So let's get right into it.
Look, if you've ever found yourself staring at a crypto chart, just watching it go completely haywire and feeling totally lost, you are not alone. This market can feel like trying to navigate a hurricane without a compass. It's volatile, it's confusing, and there's just so much noise. But what if you had the right instruments to actually see through that chaos and find a clear signal? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today. We'll start with the why these tools are so important. Then we'll level up, starting with the basics of tracking prices, then moving on to gauging the market's mood. After that, we'll put on our detective hats and follow the money on-chain. We'll even get a peek at what the pros are using, and then wrap it all up by helping you build your very own starter toolkit.
Okay, so let's kick things off. Why is having a toolkit like this so absolutely essential for anyone who's serious about crypto?
It really is this simple. Without the right tools, you're basically just guessing. The crypto market is this wild mix of technology, breaking news, and really powerful human emotions. A good toolkit helps you find the signal in all that noise, and it turns a flood of raw data into something you can actually use. It's really the difference between just watching from the sidelines and being an active, informed analyst. All right, let's start at level 1. This is the foundation, your crypto starter pack. Before you do any kind of fancy analysis, you have to answer the most fundamental question of all. What's the price? And for that, you've got two heavyweights, CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko. CoinMarketCap has been around forever, since 2013, and it's famous for having this massive database and a really easy-to-use interface, perfect for beginners. CoinGecko came along a bit later and really made a name for itself by focusing on deeper, more comprehensive data. It doesn't just show you the price, it also tracks things like developer activity and community buzz, which gives you a much richer picture of a project's overall health. And that's really the key point here. A price tracker is your main window into the market. A good one doesn't just spit out numbers, it gives you context. This is your very first step toward making truly informed decisions instead of just having a knee-jerk reaction to every little price jump or dip.
Time to level up. Level 2. So price tells you what is happening, but sentiment analysis, that helps you understand why. Markets aren't just cold, hard numbers. They are driven by people, by emotion. And believe it or not, we have tools that can actually measure that emotion.
So, what is market sentiment really? Well, think of it as the overall mood of the market. Are investors feeling optimistic, greedy and buying up everything in sight? Or are they feeling pessimistic and scared, maybe panic selling their assets? This mood is an incredibly powerful force that can, and often does, overpower everything else in the short term.
And the amazing thing is, we can actually put a number on that mood. What you're seeing here is a score of 25 from the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. It's a scale from 0 to 100. A low number like this one means extreme fear. Now, for a contrarian investor, that might signal a buying opportunity. On the flip side, a really high number, say anything over 75, signals extreme greed, which could be a warning that the market is getting a little too hot and might be due for a pullback.
The two big players here are the Fear and Greed Index from alternative.me and a tool called Lunar Crush. The index gives you that powerful, at-a-glance score we just saw. Lunar Crush, on the other hand, goes way deeper. It scours social media platforms like Twitter and Reddit to see what coins people are talking about and, crucially, whether that buzz is positive or negative. It's kind of like having a direct line to the collective crypto consciousness.
Okay, on to level 3. This is where things get really, really interesting. We're moving beyond just prices and feelings to become on-chain detectives. We're going to look directly at the blockchain itself to see where the money is actually going.
You see, on-chain data is the ground truth. Because blockchains are public by design, every single transaction is out there for anyone to see. It's like a perfectly transparent public bank ledger for an entire crypto network. You can watch funds move between wallets, see money flowing into exchanges, or track funds being locked into DeFi protocols. For example, if you see a massive amount of stablecoins suddenly move onto exchanges, that could be a huge clue that some big players are getting ready to buy. And these are the powerhouse tools for doing that detective work. Glassnode is like a health check for the big guys, Bitcoin and Ethereum, letting you track whales, that's the biggest holders. Nansen is famous for tracking what it calls smart money by labeling millions of wallets belonging to historically profitable traders. DeFi Llama is your Bible for the decentralized finance space, tracking something called total value locked, or TVL. And for the real data junkies out there, Dune Analytics is the ultimate DIY tool where you can build your own custom dashboards from the ground up. So we've covered prices, sentiment, and on-chain data. That's a powerful combo. But what does the absolute cutting edge look like? Let's take a quick peek into the world of professional traders. This is kind of like the final boss of data analysis. For most of us, getting data means something called API polling. It's basically like our computer repeatedly asking a server, hey, what's the price now? What's the price now? Over and over again. It's slow and not very efficient. The pros don't ask, they listen. They use something called WebSockets, which is a direct, always-on connection where the server pushes the price to them the very instant it changes. The difference is like calling a restaurant every single minute to ask if a table is free versus just having them call you the second one opens. And that fire hose of real-time data feeds into what are called high-frequency trading algorithms, or HFT. These are computer programs built to execute thousands of trades in literally the blink of an eye. They're designed to find and exploit tiny little price differences that might only exist for a few milliseconds. It's a game played at a speed that is just physically impossible for any human to keep up with.
And this gives you an idea of the kind of complex setup they're working with. This isn't just about clever software. As you can see, data is flowing from memory into specialized hardware, like the powerful graphics cards on the left. They use these GPUs to run tons of calculations at the same time, as you can see from all the functions on the right. This lets them process millions of data points, make a decision, and send a trade to an exchange in less time it takes you to click your mouse. It is a totally different ballgame.
Okay, I know that was a lot to take in. We went from simple price charts all the way to mind-bendingly fast supercomputers. So how do we make this practical? Let's bring it all back down to earth and build a starter toolkit that you can actually start using today. Here is your simple 3-step action plan. First, bookmark a price tracker. Pick your favorite CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko, make it your daily home base. Step 2, add a sentiment gauge. Get in the habit of checking the fear and greed index every day to get a quick read on the market's psychology. And step 3, just dip your toes into on-chain data. Go to Dune Analytics, find a public dashboard for a project you find interesting, and just start exploring. No pressure, just get curious. And that right there is the key takeaway. With just those 3 simple tools, you completely change your relationship with the market. You're no longer just a passive spectator who's just watching prices go up and down. You have context, you have data, you have a framework. You are now an analyst. So, we've gone on quite a journey, from the beginner's essentials all the way to the pro's arsenal. But you know, the most important step you can take is always the first one. So my question for you is, what's the first new tool you're going to add to your toolkit after watching this? Drop a comment and let us know.